have this one comment that still bothers me to this day. I think about it when I'm drinking my morning coffee. I think about it when I'm answering messages. I even think about it when my boyfriend and I have dinner. I think about it when I try and sleep at night. I remember seeing the level 1 Spheal win against Red. That was the comment. In my short time doing the lowball challenge, trying to find the absolute lowest levels possible to beat our beloved colored cartridges, I've received a lot of similar suggestions and comments. Just use level 1 Rattata, which I ended up doing. Why not toxic, recover, and stall everything? Dude, just double team LMFAO Raffle XD. Of course, all these comments are silly, easily debunked, and free engagement. But the one about the level 1 Spheal, it stuck with me. What Spheal are we even talking about? Where did the commenter even see this? Was this a video? A blurry picture on a dead forum? A playground story that he heard 10 years ago and now regurgitated in my comments? There was one thing for certain. I needed to find out. But there's no story there. I didn't find anything. At least not involving a Spheal. I did watch a couple concept videos about ice ball shenanigans, but nothing about Spheal versus Red, and definitely not at level 1. But what I did find was much, much more interesting. There are tons of old videos with millions of views depicting level 1 setups against Red and other bosses, like Cynthia, for example. And every single one is, well, questionable. I picked out 4 videos to cover today, with some being obviously fake, some being slightly off, and 1 or 2 actually being fully legitimate. I'm gonna go through each one and break down the setups, the stats, and any possible hacks or scripts being utilized, and we'll see for ourselves if these low-level strategies were always real or just a mirage. But before we begin, I do have a quick disclaimer. This video is made for entertainment purposes. I can only assume that the videos we look at today were also made for those purposes, just to be for fun or to fool some friends. Now let's begin. We start off with Pokemon Trainer Red versus my level 1 team, which was uploaded by King Kazma over 10 years ago. We quickly established that this is the Red fight from Heart Gold Soul Silver postgame, which is probably one of the most memorable teams in Generation 4. And they hacked the team to be a higher level. Great. For reasons unknown to us all, this team has been cranked past level 80 as it normally is, all the way into the mid-90s, because the level 80s in the base fight weren't threatening enough? Or something? Oh, and now the lead is a level 1 Politoed, lovingly named Bubblebutt. This is definitely a legitimate mon to have. We're not even on the first turn and we're off to a great start. Now, if you weren't already aware, Politoed is a stone evolution of Poliwhirl, so that's a hard level requirement of 20. But it's obvious from this first still image alone, we're here for fun and memes rather than a true limit test. Now, this entire battle is revolved a strategy called Perish Trap, which is where you set up Perish Song, which makes the enemy Pokemon faint in 3 turns, and then you switch into a Trapping Mon to prevent it from switching out and resetting the Perish Song. There's a little bit of other strategies here with changing the weather, that's what you see the Politoed do to get rid of hail damage, as well as a little bit of Endeavor and some stalling with Toxic, but it's all over the place and it's mostly relying on Perish Song. What you are going to see at 1.2 here is a level 1 Shedinja, which, believe me, I wish that was real. I could have done so many cool things with level 1 Shedinja in my Emerald Lowball videos, but it can't learn Perish Song, and you can't get it at level 11. It's also hard limited to level 20. Later on in the fight, you're also going to see Espeon come in and stare down this level 1 Murkrow and not have a damaging move. And if this was based on the Gen 2 team in Pokemon Crystal, where you do see an Espeon in the fight, it should have Swift, or literally anything else. Surprisingly, the only legal move we see on King Kazma's Murkrow is the Perish Song. Everything else is completely illegal to have. So we're just completely lost. but I'm still having a ton of fun. And what you're gonna see is more Perish Song, more trapping, and Protect stalling to finally close up the fight after sacking 4 different Pokemon. But ignoring even the most egregiously illegal team to have, what really bugged me is Red's team. Because despite one or two obvious reasons, why did he have to change it? It's extremely weird. So it's modeled off the original Gold Silver Crystal fight, Espeon over Lapras, and a few other examples, but the custom movesets and increased levels are just so confusing. You have these hack level 1s which have a really easy matchup into the original battle, right? I have 2 theories about this, or why this video even exists. My first theory is King Kazza wanted to show off his sick battling skills, but even with a hack team overflowing with Perish Song, stalling, and a little bit of Endeavor in the back, he struggled to close it out. See, Red's team in Heart Gold and Soul Silver has basically zero utility. Every move is a damaging move except for Sleep Powder on Venusaur. I had to deal with this when doing my fight against Red in my Heart Gold Soul Silver video, and I had to stare down Hydro Cannon, I had to stare down Blizzards, all sorts of scary high power moves. And I've noticed that the AI in this fight are really eager to switch, which is concerning for Generation 4. Assuming all the same reactions and plays, theoretically the Heart Gold Soul Silver team, you would run out of sacks as the player. So what I'm thinking here is that if you've already hacked the team in levels, take out all of Espeon's moves and just make it a useless Pokemon that will force the AI to baton pass a Perish Song, you're now up a sack, so Blastoise isn't even a problem anymore, and therefore it looks more impressive. So that's where my second theory comes in. And this is just a showcase of his ROM hacking and scripting skills. Hacking your own team is really simple. You just download Pokéhex, you change all the values and stats, you can make them all shiny, you can do whatever you want. But changing the enemy team requires a bit more work and a bit more knowledge, especially 10 years ago. After consulting some specialists, this is likely just a standard binary hack. Regardless, this video is hilariously fake, and it's extremely entertaining to rewatch knowing so much more about Pokemon and emulators today, because I think I watched this 10 years ago and I probably thought it was real too. Moving on, we have a level 1 Bidoof versus Cynthia. Now this video is really interesting. This is Generation 5, the Pokemon Black and White post-game fight against Cynthia. This is largely considered one of the hardest post-fight games in Pokemon's history. Now we just see this lone level 1 Bidoof. This is like a true low ball style setup. It's a great start, and I'm excited to see what we get, and you will be too. Being Generation 5, Bidoof now has the hidden ability Moody, which raises a random stat by 2 stages and lowers another random stat by 1 stage, and also has caused immeasurable psychic damage to Showdown players across the globe. So far, everything's looking fine. Bidoof has a completely legal moveset of Thunder Wave, Toxic, Substitute, and Swagger. This Spiritomb can't touch Bidoof. It only has Sucker Punch as a damaging move, which of course can't proc against 4 status moves. It also has Will-O-Wisp, but strangely to me, it never uses it. We're gonna see some more interesting move choices later. So far though, I have no issues with how this fight has gone so far. Spiritomb then goes down to Toxic as well as Confusion damage, and Bidoof is still level 1. Where's the XP? We got a legal moveset, we have a correct enemy team, but XP is disabled? This is new, this is a new one. Everything is theoretically legal, and I've kept track of every Moody turn so far. And we eventually get Lucario, who sees a free kill with any of his moves. But he goes for Extreme Speed, and misses. Sure, Bidoof has +1 evasion, so it's a 25% chance to miss, but Lucario knows Aura Sphere, which is 100% accurate. So I was confused here. I thought, is this a case of all overlapping rolls, AI goes for random move, or is this some sort of AI decisions I don't understand? Is this more meddling into the ROM? Being suspicious, I did a lot of research, to the point where I eventually asked my friend to go and test the exact same setup in a battle, and Lucario clicked Extreme Speed every time. I don't know why, but here we are. So this is confirmed, at least on the AI side, but it doesn't quite end there. The rest of the fight is completely above board, but the only thing I can't shake is these move choices. Melodic on the field keeps clicking Dragon Tail, which is again way less accurate, ignoring all the evasion boosts. Lower priority as well. Is this again more AI shenanigans, seeing all these stat changes, or am I missing something here? But this puts me right back to the card situation where maybe I just don't understand it. It's still weird regardless. And of course, we're still getting 0 XP. This left me with no true theories except for one. This is either an insanely lucky run with some sort of script disabling XP. The only interesting theory I have is this is actually a Wi-Fi battle, and the cutscenes are spliced in. The frame rate is really poor. There are some random spikes of lag and audio in the video, and part of me wonders if it's staged to look like a legit battle. The background is really similar to the standard Wi-Fi battle background, but at the end of the day, it's just much more likely that this is a simple script alongside some really favorable RNG for the uploader. But this does lead us into the next video to cover. Now this one is, in my opinion, the funniest one yet, because this video is the godfather of every faked Showdown Salt video you have ever seen. This is the level 1 team destroys legendary spammers and cries origin story. We're talking about Pimp Knight's epic Magikarp sweep, a recording of a Wi-Fi battle that has racked up over 18 million views since it was uploaded. Now, Pimp Knight commentates over it with a really bad potato mic in a bathroom and shows how he sets up his epic Magikarp sweep against a full team of shiny legendaries. Really cool stuff. To summarize his opening, he sets up Toxic Spikes with his Tentacruel, 2 layers of regular spikes with a Roserade, and then brings in Smeargle to Spore, Stealth Rock, and set up a Belly Drum. Obviously, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. Lugia, by my calculations, has no speed investments. This is an unusual in Gen 5 competitive, usually cranked in HP and defenses. But what's strange is that this is a human Wi-Fi battle, and the human decides that his asleep Lugia should just switch out instead of going for a turn 3 wake up kill or a turn 3, turn 4 wake up Whirlwind, which would of course completely ended the setup and completely ended this run. This was actually really common. Lugia almost always ran Whirlwind in Gen 5 Ubers, so the switch out to me is beyond suspicious. This gives Smeargle a free baton pass turn into the Magikarp to face down the fresh Dialga. By my calculations, this Magikarp has max attack and max speed EVs alongside an adamant nature. We see Dialga clicking Roar of Time, which is very little Timmy style, and very convenient for Pimpcarp, the Magikarp here, giving it ample space to get a clean 2-hit KO with Flail. As you can guess, every other shiny legendary has a complete lack of priority or speed investments, letting a now 1 HP max attack, maxed out Flail just to wreak havoc. And this Dialga was the only Mon that even resists Flail, so what's going on here? Of course, Magikarp makes short work of this shiny, full legendary team, which is completely fine after I ran all the calcs. Assuming these are normally invested legendaries and normally all perfect 31 IVs, Magikarp just completely breezes through it, and he even goes for the bounce on Shaman, which is actually more inaccurate and less damage than if he just clicked Flail, because the math is just 200 BP is better than super effective 90 base power. Now, with that battle all wrapped up, said and done, there is nothing truly suspicious there. Everything was completely legal in terms of movesets and calculations. If you take a look at Pip Knight's channel, it's very clear that he is the originator of all the scripted Salt Showdown videos we've ever seen. Now, therefore, my theory is that this video, like the many others that spawn from it, is that this is 100% staged. It is a Wi-Fi battle. This could have been done with his buddy next door, it could have been done with his other DS. There's of course the very real chance that the kid on the other end of the battle was just the worst battler in all of Australia. It just seems too convenient to ignore. So what's our verdict? The strategy is 100% legit. The calcs completely check out. The setup is just questionable. But for entertainment reasons, this video absolutely nails it. Well deserved in the 20 million views. Now, we're almost at the end of the video, and a few of you might be thinking, are there any good viral videos with these level 1 strats? Well, there's at least one. And surprisingly, it sounds even more ridiculous than any of the last few videos we covered. Here is how to beat the Elite Four with only a level 3 Metapod in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee by PD Winnall. And at first glance, I thought this was just plain ridiculous, and that there has to be some sort of weird trick or hack or bug abuse, until I learned about the candies that are in the game. And then, of course, it all made sense. For those not in the know, the Let's Go titles have Pokemon Go style candies, which absolutely steroid your Mon, regardless of its levels. Looking back, how my little sister struggled on the Elite Four with these existing is beyond me. Putting aside me flaming a literal child, these candies give you stats that emulate level 100, give or take. Now with a lot of trial and error and some good pre-planning, PD Winnall grinds down the Elite Four using only struggle. Amazing work. Truly, it's a great watch as well, especially how he breaks it all down, so please check out the video. All of these are linked in the description for you to enjoy. Now those were all 4, but I have a little bonus video, just for the people who are still watching. There's one that's completely forgotten I found while watching the first video, the King Kazma video. And it's clear that this was actually a direct response to it. You guys remember YouTube responses? Remember those being a thing? Pokeplay Larry's first ever video, Can Red Beat My Level 1 Team, takes a completely legal team to an unmodded Red and Heart Gold Soul Silver and shows a much similar strategy to King Kazma, without all the hacking, of course. I'm not going to break it down here, it's definitely worth its own watch, and if you've enjoyed the videos you've seen so far or enjoy my lowball content, please give it a full watch through. I think you'll love it. Now, we're almost pushing the 20-minute mark, and there's probably so many more videos I could cover today, and if you really like this video, definitely send me some more to look at, no matter how painfully obvious they are, or maybe I just missed them. I'd love to do a follow-up if this video does well. Special thanks to Raphael for helping me with editing, as well as Marta for going out of her way to test the Cynthia fight for me. Greatly appreciated to both of you. And of course, a routine thanks to our members who support the channel. We have Funny iPod Mods Tips and Tricks, Accolade, Mudskip, Aiden Farty, Clove Neroli, Aya, Spidonic, and our newest member, Chris Boucher. Thanks to everyone for all the continued support, and I'll see you very soon with some more tournaments and a video essay coming down the pipeline. Until next time.